Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us. Welcome. Everything is fine. Don't be afraid. You're dead. But everything is fine. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant. You're dead. But you're in the good place. Or are you? Yes, this is the good place. This is a great place to be. We're going to talk about really, really important information like Hogwarts houses. And we're going to put characters based on people that don't exist into them like we do every 2 weeks. And it is a very special episode because it's Lauren's birthday month and it's her birthday episode. Yay, everyone say happy birthday, Lauren.
Woohoo!
Shut up, I can't hear them.
Oh my
God.
I think this comes out like more than a week.
That's good if it comes out before.
Well, yeah, I always
episode.
Schedule them before, but it's not even
smart.
The week of my birthday.
Smart that you do that and think ahead.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. Oh my goodness. So, what are your plans for your birthday? Watching The Good Place again? Because it's so good and your wife is on it?
My wife. The second year in a row that we're doing Kristen Bell show for my birthday.
I was going to say something, but I can't before we sort her live.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm going to say, though.
Yes, I do now. Yeah, it's my type. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. I'm not doing anything on my actual birthday because it's a Thursday, although I was born on a Thursday. Isn't that exciting? I get a kick out of it because Cass is my guardian angel. Nobody else cares. But Thursday is the day I was born.
Do the days you were born have meanings of the week, days of the week?
I think so.
What does
there's that poem.
Mean? Holy?
There's that poem. Did you not hear? Have you never heard that poem?
No.
Mine is Thursday's child has far to go.
Oh, so they're like, you got a while to go, bitch. Is that
It's
it?
like Monday. It's like Monday's child is
see it.
fair-faced. Tuesday's child is full of grace.
That's me. I am full of grace. Thank you so much.
Is that actually the poem?
Yes, there's Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Sorry, bitches. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for his living. That's whack. What do you mean? That's horrible. You're going to be a slave to capitalism forever because you were born on a Saturday. Oh, well. I wasn't. I'm full of grace. Yeah. I'm going to rewatch Community again, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Well, we've been talking. I was talking to someone on Twitter who was like adding us about the Office characters.
Yes.
And I used to be so solid on them, and I haven't rewatched that show in so long. And that's partially because they took it off Netflix, but also because, like, the internet has bullied me. Because they're like, if you like Friends, you're lame. If you like Hogwarts houses, you're lame. If you like The Office, you're lame. I guess I'm lame. I don't know. That's fine. There are worse things to be.
I know.
I could be a homicidal maniac.
Does that make you not lame?
Yeah. Because they're really cool. I listen to a lot of true crime. No, they're not actually. Most murderers are fucking losers. Losers!
I was going to say, it's like that TikTok where it's like, that guy who was like, people who are overweight or who didn't graduate high school are not going to be drafted. And then it was that guy who stitched it. It was like, only losers go to war.
Big Gryffindor energy. Big Gryffindor energy. Hell yeah. So Lauren said to me that I had to rewatch the whole show because I never saw the first season. And I was like, all right. And I have so many different opinions.
You did see the first season. You didn't see the last season.
I didn't see the last season. I'm sorry. I don't know words.
Like I watched the first season.
I never watched the last season. And apparently that came out in 2020. I never watched it. And I have so many different opinions than I did then. There were characters I didn't like then that I really like now. It's growth, bitch. So
you finally ship it?
Yeah.
Good.
I do.
She drove me crazy when she was like, I don't get it. I don't see it. I was like, why?
I didn't see it for him. Saw it for her.
Yeah, I didn't. He has the most.
He's a fine piece of ass, and
he had the most obvious reckoning.
He's part of the house that I'm most attracted to, and I really didn't like her the first time I watched it.
Wow.
Now, I love her, and I don't like Tahani. You'll hear all my opinions.
You realized what house she is.
You'll hear all my opinions. Okay, it's not that I don't like her. It's just like if you have to pick a least favorite.
It's just because you realized what house she is.
That's fine. I don't care. So it's your birthday, so you get to pick the order.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Look, I don't know. Do you start with the main characters and like go down, or do you work your way up?
They're all main.
Well, no, I could order them pretty easily.
Then do it. It's your birthday.
Yeah, but
your choice.
That's the question I was asking. Do I start with the main and work down?
My answer is it's your birthday.
Help me. Want. No, I don't have any.
I always like to start with the least loved, so you save the best for last, and then people have to listen. That's
okay. Well, according to you, the least loved is Tahani.
All right. Well, she's also the one I have the least to say about. So, fine. Okay.
Alrighty. I'm fine with Tahani.
Here's the thing. On my first watch, I thought she was like hilarious and hot. And on my second rewatch, she's hot, less hilarious, more a little bit annoying. Like the name dropping thing, it's sometimes it's funny, but then sometimes it's kind of like it's a joke that just doesn't. I'm like, okay,
it's a good running joke.
Do another one. Or do something else, or make the references funnier. It wasn't a joke
to her.
I don't know. I stopped by season 4. I was like, oh my God. But I love her ending. Yes. I love her ending.
Yes.
So,
I mean, it's all, first of all, the show has the best ending of any show. Like, they did it
okay, but it gave me major fucking anxiety about death. Like, really bad.
Yes, it's a show about death.
No, but it really fucked with me. Really bad.
It explores what it means to die. Like, that's hard. That's a hard topic.
But hell is awful because it doesn't end.
Right.
It's bad. It's batshit crazy. I don't like the concepts.
Heaven doesn't end either. That's what they
explored
in that final season.
They fixed it.
Okay.
Probably God got an idea from them. And
would you ever want to be done, or would you just like having the option?
I'd have to do so much. So many very specific things that I don't think...
they lived millions and millions of Jeremy Bearimy.
The Good Place couldn't make Robert Pattinson fall in love with me. So until they could get the real Robert Pattinson
They could. You go through this.
It's not natural. It's not natural.
I would know.
They have to give me the real one, now weird and everything as he is. And I'd have to like organically make him fall in love with me. Like, they can't give me these things. Okay? But as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I would never walk through that fucking door. Never. Ever. And Tahani doesn't, spoiler alert. I mean, at least that we see.
Doesn't.
She's the only one.
I mean, I can't talk about this until we get to Eleanor, because I'm also very like, I would never walk through the door, but the circumstances under which she walks through the door, I'm like, yeah, probably would get to that.
It'd speak to her house too, but you know what? Tahani being the one who stays also speaks to her house.
Yes.
Which is Hufflepuff. So Tahani's very clearly Hufflepuff. Her entire like being, her whole personality surrounds like needing to live up to a specific expectation of an authority figure who is part of a community that she desperately wants to be a part of, and the older sibling who literally crushes her to death on her way.
She's not even living up to her own expectations. She wants to live up to others' like arbitrary expectations.
It's her parents, as always.
Yeah, it is her parents.
It's her parents. I look at other Hufflepuffs and I think of like Odin with Thor, and I'm like, oh.
She does get bothered by other people in society too. Right?
She does.
Like if other people are like, you didn't do this right, she does get upset. And sometimes
she's a big ego.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes they are her own expectations, but they're based on what she thinks others are thinking about her.
Well, this is why
when she's like, I didn't throw the best party when she's being tortured like that, it's because other people are just.
Or I found it interesting that in the end she was saying to Eleanor, like, I don't do anything worth anything. Like, I throw good parties. And Eleanor very sincerely is like, that's a skill. And I couldn't do it. And you bring people together and you bring like people to a sense of, I'm going to overuse the word community, but you bring people together in that way. And I couldn't do that. So that is a skill. And it's not enough for her because she's not it's not useful in her brain anymore. Like, she's developed far beyond the point of, like, socialite and those kinds of things. Obviously, she's lived for how long at that point when they're at the last season?
Right.
So she's evolved heavily. But if you talk about them up to the point of their first death, like, she's even Hufflepuffy on Earth. Like, it's not just once she meets them. It's before that. And even when they tell her, like, you have to pass this test to go to the good place, don't open any of the doors, she opens up her parents' door. And that's why I'm very, like, her parents are the root cause of everything. And her and her sister realize this, too. They pit them against each other. So it's a sense of, like, I want to belong to this family so bad. And I don't even belong here. I want to belong to society so bad. But I don't even think she feels that she always belongs there either, because you name drop and you make things up if you're insecure. And I think she does have a big insecurity about belonging. Mm-hmm. And I think belonging really drives the character from life to death to after death to back to life to after death. The show's a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, she's the one most, like, the first time that they're in the bad place, she's the one who's most torn up by the fact that Jason doesn't seem like her soulmate, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and she doesn't need one by the end, though. I love that.
But like, Chidi's upset about it too, but he was like, Eleanor really has to push him for him to tell her, like, I feel cheated out of getting a soulmate.
Sure.
Tahani right away is like, this man doesn't talk to me.
Yeah.
He's not giving me what I want, and it just sucks. And she immediately, like, almost gets into a thing with Chidi.
Yeah.
Not knowing that the soulmates are fake. So, like,
she needs to belong somewhere to someone at first. She evolves past that, which I love. She's the only one who doesn't cross over that we see. She's the only one that doesn't end up with, like, a person. She's enough for herself. She, like, becomes an architect. That's what she does at the end, where she has that list and she masters every single thing on it. Was so the way she did it was so sincere. In such a Hufflepuff way that it was not for show for anyone else. It was to prove to herself that she could do it. It's really, like, it was inspiring. I loved that.
And even like the last thing on her list was, like, getting that reconciliation with her parents. And then she was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. And they, like, Janet brought her there, and then she was like, no, I'm still not feeling it. Like, I still feel like I have more to do, even though I completed this entire list.
The life of a Hufflepuff, so close to eternal relaxation, and there's still more to do, guys. There's still work to do. Like, can you take a nap? I don't understand. But I get why people cross over, but I really I don't know. I guess I can relate to Hufflepuff that way. And I think Gryffindors do have that a little bit too with work, like obsession over work and over goals. And I understand why she stayed so much. Like, I would definitely be like, there has got to be more I could do here.
Right.
There has
and
to
she
be.
does. She becomes an architect. She builds neighborhoods for.
I wish we would have seen Mindy's heaven, because she was so. She was middle of the road for so long. I would have liked to have seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She did make it through.
Right. But Eleanor puts her through in the end, and I was like, damn, I want to see what her heaven would be. Would Derek be there?
No. If she had all those other people to have sex with.
Oh, man. Derek. He's so fucking funny. I think Derek was my favorite part of the show. Derek and Jason. Speaking of, I used to hate Jason.
I know.
I love Jason now. Like, so much.
I had so much more to say about Tahani while I was watching the show, and now I can't remember specifics.
I think it's because I really do think it's. I forgot so much about her in the early seasons, because by the end she's such a different, more evolved person and such a healthy Hufflepuff that I was like, the other stuff really doesn't even matter. Like, it's almost like it's not a disservice to her character to talk about it, but it's like, it doesn't feel like Tahani when I talk about how insecure and needy, right? And then I think of what I saw at the end. I'm like, that's not her, though. It feels weird to talk about it. Because it's just not.
I mean, this isn't like all Hufflepuffs, but I think it's funny how we talked about how Annie was the one getting most into, like, her characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you definitely see that with Tahani. It's not as obvious, but she'll slip into, like, the hostess
Sure.
or like the British socialite, or even when they go to hell, she's the one who's the best at being a demon.
Yeah.
Besides Jason, but Jason isn't trying. But Tahani's like actually trying. And
yeah. Well, she is. This is a Hufflepuff thing that Hufflepuffs have in common with Slytherin too, is putting the mind to a goal and needing to be the best at it and like succeeding at being the best at it because they don't get distracted by something in the corner like Ravenclaws and Gryffindors do. So they just beeline towards it and really do get there. And I think that's why her and Eleanor get along so well. I loved how in the end they were like, you gotta go and like meet all these people and then we can shit talk them together. And she's like, nothing would make me happier, Eleanor.
Right.
Which same. I liked it. I really liked that last season.
Yeah. No, but I like she's really jealous of Eleanor too.
I think Eleanor is really jealous of her at the beginning too.
Well, yeah, but
because she's so good at everything.
I think Eleanor is like perfect Tahani and her perfect giraffe neck. Like,
I know, but I actually think it makes her insecure. I think they're both jealous of each other.
No, but Tahani is like upset. Like she sees the list and Eleanor's at the top and Tahani's at the bottom. And Eleanor is like, and before, even when they knew each other a little, Tahani was very much like, and not just like as a socialite thing, she was very much like Eleanor is a trash person. Yeah. And people still wanted to be around Eleanor. And I just don't think she was getting it. She was like, I try so hard and nobody wants to hang out with me. Yeah. Here's this trash person who is not even trying. Who belongs
wherever she moves. And like, I don't belong anywhere. And it's really, really aggravating. And I didn't even know what Walmart was before she told me. And it's like, God damn it. I just think her whole relationship with her sister is so interesting. And I mean, it's so very on the nose being crushed by the statue of her sister, but the implication is so very Hufflepuff. It's like, you love them. And I think Tahani really did love her sister and really wanted a relationship with her sister, like a genuine one. And you see her try a lot. And Camilla just, no. She shuts her down constantly. Or like before Tahani can even open her mouth, she's like, okay, dumb bitch. But did you want to say something? Like, it's constant. And you just see her constantly get beat back every time she tries. And like to us, okay, who we aren't socialites born into higher education and money and wealth and privilege, she's got it. She's got it made. Like, it's perfect. It's wonderful. But to her, she's that. And then Camilla's higher. Like, so it's the unattainable. Even in this world, I'm born into it and I still don't belong to it. So I love that at the end, she takes back all her complete sense of agency. And I love that she does go through her parents' door. And I love that she hears them still shit-talking her. And that's the moment that it clicks for her. Like, I have to stop living to be useful for other people and I need to be useful to myself. Like, what do I actually want to do? And I mean, she really wants to get to the good place. And she's not afraid to call shit out either, which is very Hufflepuff. Like, she says, I think we should change leadership because Eleanor's fucking up.
Right,
like, she just flat out says it.
Yeah.
And then Eleanor overhears and she's like, sorry, but I do really think that. Like, she's got to be put next to Annie on a scale somewhere. She's very like her.
I think she is, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Talking about our scales again. You guys know.
Need to be updated. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. You should pay more attention.
You should.
They're very conducive to our scholarship, but whatever.
So true. But yes, Tahani, Hufflepuff, for sure. Do you have any final thoughts on Tahani?
No, I wish I could remember more because there were so many times while I was watching the show where I was like, oh my God,
I know.
So Hufflepuff.
But you know what, Lauren? You don't have to prove shit to anybody. Except you do. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Are we ever going to do this show again? Should we like really quickly sort Michael and Janet at the end or like?
Yeah, we can. That'd be fun.
Okay. Because there's like, they're the only two left.
Yeah, no, they are.
Unless you did the Judge and Kevin, but I don't know. Like,
no, thank you.
Okay. You sounded like the judge there.
I know. She's so fucking funny.
Maya Rudolph, yeah.
I love her. Maya Rudolph, yeah, but I love the judge.
Yes. Yeah, I do too.
And I love Sean.
Oh, Sean, that's right, not Kevin. He's Kevin on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the police chief's husband.
I watched like 3 episodes of that. Should probably watch more.
Probably something that we should sort.
It was too wholesome for me.
It's pretty good. Pretty fine.
Maybe I'll check it out again. All right. Tahani, sorted. Who's next?
Jason.
Why Jason's everybody's favorite. I do be loving him now. I typically have a problem with dum-dums. I don't like it. When a character's just stupid for laughs. But while Jason's not book smart by any means, he's empathetic and he's kind and he does figure things out. So he's not just a dum-dum. And he is actually very funny. So I forgive. It's the Patrick Star thing. Okay? Because, like, I hate Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
I wouldn't equate Jason to Patrick
deeply,
Star.
But I did in the first season when I first watched the show. I was like, oh my God, he's so fucking stupid. But he's not. Like, sure, he has a low IQ.
I feel like we talked about this specifically with Jason, or was it another character? It was another character.
In what way? What?
Oh, it was Joey, I think. Jason's the same as Joey. He's not stupid. He's smart in the way that he understands the world, you know?
Right. Unlike Joey, though, he doesn't have any kind of need to really belong anywhere. His goals are all
he's not the same house as Joey. I'm just saying that Jason understands that Molotov cocktails mean you're not in trouble anymore.
Well, the Molotov cocktail solving a problem by creating a bigger problem should tell you everything about what house he is. Because it makes perfect sense to me.
He's a Gryffindor.
Hell yeah. We got Jason.
Mortals.
I love him. The impulse control issues, too funny. Too Gryffindor. Like, just absolutely having no control over it, blurting out whatever, throwing a Molotov cocktail at the problem.
I cannot believe he managed to be a monk so long. I can't.
Because he was confused for like a little while. And I feel like that's how I got through most jobs in the beginning when I did them.
And then the nice robot lady brought him anything he wanted and he had his own book.
Okay, I love this. I love the Janet Jason relationship because the whole reason he actually falls in love with her is because she's nice to him.
Yeah.
That's it. So like,
which is very Gryffindor.
It really is. It really is. Like
it's again, it's your paradox thing because, you know, I can't say this line. Somebody who is very, very Gryffindor that we'll be sorting later would say the opposite. Like, if you're mean to me, I'll probably like you. But I think it's either way. It's either extreme.
Yeah, but I don't. I actually don't. I don't think it's true.
What? Of
even that Gryffindor that you're alluding to. I don't think it's true. I think you have I think you have an attraction, a deep attraction to people who are like mean, especially mean to you because you think like hot. I deserve this hot. But who you want to be with and who you fall in love with, if you look at Gryffindors in general, they're with people who are nice to them. They are. They're not with meanies.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. It was very like, it was a nice,
I mean.
What?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about some where I don't totally agree with that.
I'm thinking about all of them right now and they're all with nice people. Except Edward Cullen.
I was going to say, I also don't think Pepper Potts is particularly nice to Tony.
She is. Yeah, she is.
Tony likes her because she bullies him. Yeah, but she also, like, bullies him.
Yeah, being bullied keeps things hot, but are you actually, but do you like, are you kind to me? I mean, like, are you good to me? And they are. I
can't remember if I feel like we told everybody what Pepper was.
We did.
Whatever. Learned. Tony's story's over. She's not coming back. She's okay. We're not sorting her.
You just want you want people to, like, more than anything, I think you seek validation. And Janet immediately gives Jason validation. Because she's programmed to. And he's like, hell yeah, that's my wife. You're going to get married. And it's not wonderful.
Not a girl.
He literally marries a validation machine. Nothing could be more Gryffindor. Like, can you give me the answers to everything also and tell me I'm cute? Okay, here you go. Also, you're cute. I'm like, all right, this is a good life. And then he walks through the fucking door, which really, the fact that he was the first one.
No, but also he wasn't because he.
Oh, right. No, he wasn't. He waits like 1,000 years because it was so important to him that she got that
give her
little
the necklace.
Locket.
Yeah.
How cute. He is so cute. Ugh, and then he's like, Chidi, wait up.
No, and the fact that his thing was he wanted to be Madden whatever year it was. Madden 2020 on
yeah,
he wanted to complete a perfect season with the Jaguars. And he did it.
And he did it. And he immediately was like so content with that. And he's like, I made you a breakfast. And then also I'm going to go through the door. He was done. And I really, I liked actually so much that he waited 1,000 years and was like, I just thought about you. And I thought about like life and good stuff. That's what a fucking monk does.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes full circle and like, yeah, Janet, yeah, you're right. Janet says, like a monk. He's like, huh? But it's true. He actually has the capability of deeper thought, of inner thinking. It's just that he has to be incredibly stimulated first. So now he's done with life. He's been the most stimulated he could be. So I can understand his crossing over. I just can't relate because I don't think I ever, like, I'd be too scared. So
and there are moments too, like when bad Janet is, bad Janet. To be good Janet. Yeah. No, she's pretending to be Janet. And it's her. He's like, I knew it wasn't Janet because I called her girl and she didn't say a girl. And that's what she always says. But no, Jason also always goes on like these rambling stories like about his 80-man dance crew. And everybody in the group is always like, oh, shut up. But if you actually listen, they're relevant and they make sense. It's just that nobody's listening to him. I know. Everybody like writes him off and they're like, oh, he's telling this stupid story again. Yeah. And also, he doesn't realize that he's making a connection. He's literally just telling a story. I know. He always connects.
He did get Chidi in the end when he's like, I think you just end up getting sick of each other. Like, you and your partner will, if you're too different, you'll end up getting sick of each other. And he's like, you think Janet will get sick of me? Nah, man, I gotta go. And he literally tricks Chidi into coming back and being like, I'm sorry. Janet will love you forever. He's like, yeah, busted. Now you're going to supply that to you and Eleanor, man. Like, he does think. But here's the thing with Gryffindors. If it stimulates me in some way, I can think deeply about it. That's why I can do this podcast. Okay? Because if you paid me to do this, but it was about a topic I didn't like, I could not do it. I couldn't even fake it. I wouldn't. I need to be entertained. I need to enjoy it. And that's how I think Jason goes through life too. He needs to be constantly stimulated and enjoying something, like monkeys on go-karts. Sure, whatever floats your boat. He's got to do it. Also, he's probably really good at sex, like Tahani said. So
their relationship is so crazy. Like, it didn't work. Like, it did work. It would have been weird, cool if they had been the couple, but I guess it's too cliche to tie it all to the bow like that. It did. I was just, we didn't say this explicitly for Tahani, but for all these characters, the reason that they went to hell and then what they were being punished with is like extremely indicative of their houses. Yeah. So, like, Tahani was like only doing things in order to gain approval from people. She wasn't doing them out of the goodness of her heart or whatever.
Wrong motivation.
Points canceled out. Yeah, wrong motivations. So that's it, like, it's very Hufflepuff, so, like, gaining approval from people, like trying to fit in. Yeah. And the thing that they tortured her with in hell is that she had to like live with somebody who couldn't give her any validation, and she wasn't the best person. You know, like the second time around, they give Eleanor that sash that's like best person. Yeah. She gets drunk and is really upset about that. So like that's what they're punishing her with, where she's like, they're subtly telling her you have no use here and nobody is going to tell you that you're doing things correctly. And then Jason goes to hell. He irritates everybody. Because, Jason?
Yeah. He annoys everybody and then he dies and goes to hell because he was so annoying.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I mean, Jason was the one who was most obviously like somebody that you'd be like, okay, they're probably in hell because he committed crimes.
Yeah. You know, but like, again, that's what I mean about needing to be stimulated. He was bored by regular life. Like, he needed to be doing something fun. He needed to go to, what was that place called?
He wanted to be a DJ and he wanted to get out of Jacksonville. Yeah. He wanted to be a DJ and he wanted to get out of Jacksonville and go to someplace like Miami. You know?
Jacksonville quit. Like, he's like, you call that a Jacksonville baptism? Like, whatever he says is so fucking funny. I can't take him. But what was I going to say?
His fucking funeral by the pool.
Yeah. First of all, best funeral was Eleanor's.
In the that Jaguars.
Would be mine. Yeah. So he's like, I really, really liked that he went, I keep calling it Stinky Nicks. That he was going to go, like, he won the contest at Stupid Nicks or whatever. And that was so massive to him that isn't that where he spends the rest of his eternal life? at Stupid Nick's, like,
that's his house. Yeah. Or apartment,
I finally accomplished my goal of living in a Stupid Nick's. Like, literally all he wanted. That was it. He's not complex, but he is, like, he's such an interesting character. Because when everybody underestimates him and everybody thinks he's just stupid and writes him off completely, and he says things like breach of contract and has a really bad rap sheet.
And then he's like, it's because when you bleach the contract, or like he explains it, or when he and Pillboy are doing the thing where they're stealing money from the restaurant or whatever, he's like, we'll just marry each other and then we can't testify against each other.
Yup. So fucking funny. He's also, he's the only person besides Eleanor who figures out that they're in the bad place. I mean, he does it like once and it breaks Michael's brain and Michael's really upset about it. But he's the only one.
Michael, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like, you got to give him props. Just because he's not intelligent in the way that people see intelligence, like, still a valuable character with something to bring to the table. Janet loved him. We all loved him. I don't know why he went off like that into the... You know what I thought was so... Oh my God. Not him saying the fucking... My mom died of the C word. And he says crocodile.
Yeah.
And then it's cancer, right? Like, it was horrible. It was a horrible joke. But then I'm like, why didn't they show his mother? Is she in the bad place? They show his father.
Did you not understand that?
No.
I mean, well, everybody from like the last 500 years were in the bad place. They were going through tests to get to the good place. So
yeah. Oh, so she probably just didn't make it yet.
But you go through the test as many times as you need to.
So she just didn't. Like, right. But like, why would he walk through before his mom got
He didn't know his mom. He was like 5, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That made me sad because they brought it up and then you see him walk through and I'm like, you didn't get to even see your mom. That's sad.
I mean, maybe we didn't see him meet Blake.
Well, you
Bortles
see him with
either,
his dad, so that's what made me.
They didn't pay Bortles to be on the show, but you'd think that's something that Jason would want to do.
Nah, he wins Madden. He plays the perfect game of Madden with Donkey Doug. And he's so happy.
Donkey Dad.
Donkey Dad. Yeah. I can't. He's very clearly a Gryffindor, though.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing he was being punished with was he couldn't be impulsive, right? Like, he had to hold back on what he wanted to say.
He had to learn impulse control.
Yeah. Well, he didn't, but like, he never did.
No, but he gets less violent about it. He's not throwing Molotov cocktails. But it's just
he does stop to think before he does things.
Yeah, he does.
More times.
I love that Michael calls his dog Jason. Also, that he has a tattoo of his name on his butt. Would do. 10 out of 10. Absolutely fucking love that. I'm going to put Rachel right on my ass. I love that.
I know. I kind of want to talk more about the Tahani Jason relationship because...
Well, it's very interesting.
Well, and they did it twice.
Yeah. They did. Don't they? They sleep together, don't they?
Yeah, they dated in the first time they were in heaven after she found out that Jason wasn't John Yu.
Right.
They dated and that's when Janet got upset. And then they dated on Earth.
Yeah. Well, but that demon that was interfering was trying to get them together and like Jason just helps her home. Like they don't become more than that. They just stay friends.
No, they don't have sex on Earth, but they do they do date. They date. No, it's that they don't have a one night stand that Tahani would be disgusted by, and then regret the next morning or whatever. I think they do date though on Earth. I
don't think it's successful, which is like okay, fair. They're not a good match together. I don't think. Like, if you really do think about it, it's not a good match. Tahani needs, like, intellectual stimulation. And Jason just doesn't care for it. It's not that Jason couldn't. I think if he probably put his mind to things, like, he does pretty well in the philosophy class at one point. He does start to understand things. He gets the whole phrase correct that Chidi taught him.
Yeah.
Like, he could, if he could put his mind to it, he could. But I don't think he would. He doesn't want to. Which I get, like with math. Why bother? I don't get it. It's not interesting. I'm going to Stupid Nick's. It's fun there, nerds. God, I really understood him this time. I really did.
I'm glad. I couldn't really understand why you weren't connecting.
I just don't like
first time around.
Dummies. And also, like, he's willing to sell them all out so he doesn't have to go to the bad place the first time around. And I hated that. But like he apologizes to them and he eventually is like, okay, fine. We'll be a crew. It's fine. He's a good dude. Like Milan. Very sad for Janet. Very sad.
He's fucking sorry. His test with the judge is to play a game of Madden and not be. He has to play against the Jaguars as Tennessee, who is their rival. And he's like you wanted me to think that this was the test, but really the test. And she's like, Jason, this was literally the test. Like the whole thing was that she started explaining it, and he was like, no, I know what to do, and like starts immediately. And she's like, nope, that was the test, and you failed the second.
Well, what is it Tahani says about him? He has like all this unearned confidence.
Yes.
And it's true.
It's very Gryffindor.
It's true. Like he obviously didn't earn any of it, but he's so confident in himself and his ability to do whatever. Like even when what's the demon's name that tries to tell them that Michael is Vicky? I forget. They turn him into slime. Steve.
Oh no, the guy that they hate.
Yeah, Tom something. Anyway, he's there telling them this. Like, no, that's Vicky. That's Vicky. And Jason's that's just what you want us to think. And he's like, yeah, that is what I want you to think. Or is that what you want us to think? Like, you're right. He doesn't care at all. I don't even know. You must be aware, right? You must be aware that people in the room are like, oh, Jason, all the time. But he doesn't care. He doesn't hurt his feelings. Doesn't bother him. He's just like,
Glenn.
Next thing. Glenn. Well, anyway, that's Jason. Very Gryffindor. Sorted. Don't ship him with it. I don't ship him with it, that, honey. Huh?
Didn't you want a button that just said sorted?
I did, but we never got one. So I shall say it every time. I've begun talking like Tahani.
Chidi and
He is. I love him so much.
He's insanely obvious.
I think
these two are the most obvious.
Chidi was and is my favorite character on the show.
No surprises.
Oh my God. He is wonderful. And when he comes back confident, woo! Woo! I love it, Chidi. So there's an answer to every question. There's not. Poor thing.
No, but there has to be. If you can argue somebody and convince them of your logic, it's fixed.
That doesn't mean there's an answer. That means you made up an answer.
No, that's also him.
He's such a shit. He's such a little
PowerPoint to his parents on why they shouldn't divorce.
This is another one with the lack of self-awareness. Like
that's what fucks him up too.
He just didn't care. His friends were like, please, I'm begging you to make a choice. And your mother's having surgery and he cannot get past the indecisiveness, and it kills him and it sends him to hell. Well, which is sad because Chidi's the only one who tried to live an ethical life.
That's the only one. That's what got him. That's what got him, though. Yeah. So Chidi's a Ravenclaw.
Oh, yeah.
His system is extremely obvious. He wants to live by a moral code.
So bad.
Yes. A logical, scholarly moral code. So his big idols are philosophers. He's a student of philosophy, professor of philosophy, and he tries to live his life by the moral code. The problem for Chidi is that he tries to apply every moral code to his life, and they often contradict each other. So he's like, so there's I think this was when they were on Earth, where he was like, he was ordering the muffins, and he was like, okay, I finally decided. It's after somebody is like, you just need to make a choice. Like, don't think about it. Just make a choice.
Oh, yeah.
Do it immediately. Yeah.
Is it his friend? He's like, no.
And I think it's his friend. Yeah, I know. But he's like, fine, I'm going to order a blueberry muffin every day.
Yeah.
And so, like, he starts to get it. Like, he's like, oh, this is fine. It's working. Like, I'm just ordering a blueberry muffin every day, and this is ethical, and it's working. And then one day they don't have blueberry muffins, and he loses. He's like, like, he loses it.
What's the name of his disorder? Directional insanity? Indirect insanity? Something like that.
Yeah, something
because he can't choose. He cannot make choices. I swear to God, it's so Ravenclaw to be so deeply plagued by something like that, by the inability to make a choice because you want to make the ethical decision or what's ethical to you. And then to get so fucked, so mind fucked, because there are so many different codes of ethics in philosophy, and you study philosophy, and like your brain would break.
Right. No, and his does. Like you see him go crazy.
He goes Lulu.
At the end when they're on Earth and he finds out about heaven. So. Yeah.
I liked that they what was his girlfriend's name? The Australian girl.
Oh,
I want to say Vicky now.
Sybil.
Sybil?
No, not Sybil.
Sydney? Am I just saying Australian things? She's from Australia, mate. But I like that. I know that this was part of the crew's plan was to get Simone. Nice. So I like that. It was definitely part of the crew's plan to get Chidi with her, and that like this was what they were going to do. But it was also the obvious choice. If you want somebody to believe that they're in heaven, like you want to break them out of their mental prison, you give them Chidi. But Chidi can't break himself out of his own mental prison. It takes like 1,000,000 years in reboots to break this poor guy out of it. And then he becomes confident.
What the title of his book is What We Owe Each Other. So he like that's his thing. He's making choices based on how he needs to be morally correct for the rest of the world. And it's telling too that every time he finds out in hell, he's like, it was the almond milk. I read that they don't farm almonds ethically, and I still drank almond milk. Like he can't even grasp that it's the fact that he's indecisive. Because he doesn't see it that way.
He can't. Cue to like me and Eleanor looking at him like, you dumb little nerd. I'm going to put you on a hamster wheel and just watch you go around and around. It's so cute. Like, I totally got it. I totally saw where she was coming from. But, with Chidi and Eleanor is very interesting. Very interesting. And we'll talk more about it after we sort Eleanor. But she tells him she's fallen in love with him. She tells him first. And he, like, can't say it back because he's like, do I? Or is this am I being selfishly motivated by it? Like, he can't even discern his own feelings. He can't even be decisive about that. The most basic thing. Like, do I care about this girl? Or is there something selfish behind it? Making it hypocritical and a lie. And I can't lie. And the house that hates liars and hypocrites is Ravenclaw. You can't put this dude anywhere else. He doesn't belong anywhere else. Dropped a whole ass PowerPoint presentation to keep his parents together. And then they did stay together. They were going to straight up divorce. And he was like, I'm going to explain to you why. That's wrong. Welcome to cheating school.
But that episode. Well, okay. So Chidi decides that they need to erase his memory because in the last season, they're bringing in these like medium-ish. Well, it's the demons get to choose, but they're like medium-ish bad people. And they're like, this isn't going to work if Chidi isn't there because Chidi has been the moral compass for everyone. Like Chidi is teaching everyone moral philosophy. And it's interesting too that Chidi actually gets pulled away from it without this specific group. Like the new group of humans is like taking him to cabins on the lake and he's like, oh, moral philosophy is not that, like it's not that important or whatever. But he volunteers, and this is after he and Eleanor have said that they love each other, and he volunteers to have his memory erased so that he can teach moral philosophy to these incoming humans. And when they bring his memories back is such a huge episode because it goes through the whole thing with Chidi's divorce and why he's indecisive and why he thinks that there is an answer to everything. And all he needs to do is find the answer. And when he finds the answer, he just applies it and it's fine and it's fixed. So he writes a note to himself that says, there is no answer, but Eleanor is the answer, which is so disgustingly schmoopy Ravenclaw.
That's really
and
sweet.
Like, yeah, I know. And he hands it to Janet and is like, give this back to me when I come back. And when he comes back, he's like, Janet, do you have my note? And Janet's like, if you remember you gave me a note, why do you need it? And Chidi's like, I want to see it, which is also very Ravenclaw to me. Like, he's like, I want to see what I wrote to myself. Yeah, not even just proof, but I wrote this to myself and I want to see it. Like, I want to
it's mine.
Feel this again. Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah, I love that. I also love that Eleanor's note was fine, Chidi. And
oh yeah,
like how cute is that?
That speaks more to how Eleanor views Chidi. Like that was before they were in love.
I know, but it's like a cute little connection between the two.
Yes, it is. It's a circle. It goes around.
It's cute. And you know, Eleanor's whole shtick, like her whole personality is being selfish and a liar and all this shit. And that gives Chidi the stomach aches bad.
Yes. Okay, that's the other thing too, is that he's getting stomach aches when he perceives hypocrisy. That's what it is.
They say it's lies on the show, but it's like, both. It's lying and hypocrisy.
Well, no, but yeah, because that's what it is. That it's a personal hypocritical thing, and Eleanor gets him with it. And Eleanor's very smart for getting him with this. Where she's like, he's like, I can't lie. I hate lying. Lying is against a moral code. an ethical moral code. I can't do it. And she's like, yeah, but I shared my secret with you, and now revealing that to everybody else would be morally wrong. So you cannot do that. Mm-hmm. She's literally tying him up in self hypocrisy. Yeah. And it gives him a stomach ache.
Yeah. Chidi and his stomach aches. The poor thing. He really is just like a little boy, like a like a big little boy. It's sad. But I mean, I like that he refuses to lie. And the only times you see him do it on the show are like, it's really dire. I think it's only like once or twice. If I remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he does it more than once even, but he does lie. And then, I mean, he immediately confesses, I'm pretty sure, to Michael. I can't remember what the lie was about, but he lies to pretend. It's about Eleanor. And It's so interesting because he would have let Eleanor's ass rot. Like, he did not care until he saw that she was genuinely trying to become a better, like, not even like making huge strides, but she was setting fires everywhere. And when he sees that she's starting to try to put them out, he's like, all right, I'm going to take you on. I'm going to take you in and we're going to work on it. And it's just so interesting. He's so indecisive about everything, but he can decide on things like that. Like, if you want to be an ethical or morally good person, then I can decide to take you in to be your friend, that you're worth something. That's what it takes for you to be worth it to Chidi.
Yeah. And I mean, the first question that he has when Eleanor comes to him is he has the question of moral imperative. Like, is it my moral imperative to help you, or is this not my problem? And I think it's so interesting because I think a Slytherin could very easily be like, not my problem. But could very easily be like, not my problem. But Chidi is, it's just like you said, like Eleanor has to like show him that she's working towards something. And he expresses that too, like towards the beginning when she's kind of like about it. Or she's like, I don't want to pick up the trash. I want to go fly. And he's like, you have to do things, right? Or I don't have a moral imperative to help you. I don't like if you're not putting the work in. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to prove it to her, which is seriously Ravenclaw, because Slytherins can connect and love indiscriminately, and so can Gryffindors. Like, Slytherin and Gryffindor are very, you love who you love, and you can't control it, even if you feel stupid for it. Like, Ravenclaws, I really feel like if you don't jive with their system, or you really become morally reprehensible to them, they can't continue that connection with you in a genuine way. They can stay your friend, they can talk to you to your face, they can keep that whole thing up. But to have a real genuine connection with them anymore, I think you've lost it once you've lost their respect that way. Yeah. And it's so interesting to see Eleanor actually earn that from him. Because once he really falls in love with her, and it doesn't go away. And I mean, that's partially because Eleanor just continues becoming a better person the whole time.
Yeah.
She doesn't regress. Which is good, because she was a bad person. But I really like her now. Should we talk about her? Or do you have any more points about Chidi?
Shut up. None of you know this, but we just took a break because I had to look something up. I'm sorry. I just told Rachel to shut up, and she gave me the most offended shake of her head ever. It's been about 20 minutes. Rachel did not stop talking about Robert Pattinson the entire time. Oh, I was looking something up for the podcast so we could talk about Eleanor.
While she searches, who wants to talk to me about the Batman? Who wants to talk about the Batman?
I already
No, she's not done. Let's talk about Robert Pattinson. She has to look at things. Have you seen his jawline?
Maybe. I mean, you could have chosen this Batman as your birthday, and we're doing something else. So
I can change that. I don't give a fuck.
No, you can't change it now. You can't change it now.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, but that thing is important to talk about.
I'm gonna be 32. I could die any minute. Anyway, go ahead, Lauren.
I was just saying too, while I was looking for this thing, is that another really Ravenclaw thing about Chidi is that he's actually so happy when his students like come back and teach him. Like he genuinely wants people to learn this stuff, and he's very happy when people learn it and apply it to their lives. And he's like, "Yay! I have got more people on my side in my system."
I know.
He doesn't understand that's not how that works. Like, he's like, "Doesn't everybody have a system?" No,
it's cute.
But
you let him think it. I like that in the end. I can't remember exactly how he says it, but in the end, he says like, "There's not one answer. You get up every day, and you do it again." And you try to find the answers for that again. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and you do it again. And that's life.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Now that I'm here, sorry, like we kind of didn't explicitly say it, but like Chidi went to hell for being indecisive because the indecisiveness was a part of his system. That's what it was. And then
it tortured everyone.
And then in hell he was tortured by hypocrisy. Basically,
right?
100% was tortured by hypocrisy.
Well, it's very annoying to me that the show won't call it hypocrisy. I was waiting, Lauren. They keep calling it lying.
I know.
And I was like, it's not just lies, people. It's the hypocrisy of it all.
It's, because it's right. It's not just lying. The way that he views lying is a hypocrisy because it doesn't work with the moral code. Whatever. But also, we didn't talk about him leaving. He leaves before Eleanor. He walks through the door.
That was hugely Ravenclaw.
Yeah, and he tells her that he is going to do it, and she knows something is up before he tells her. So she spends like the whole day trying to come up with like the best dates and places to go in heaven, and trying to like convince him not to tell her that he's going to go, even though she feels like it's coming. And he tells her anyway, and she gets very upset and is like, "I don't want you to leave." Like
her whole reaction is so her house. We'll get into
it. Yeah, it is.
But his is too.
She's like, but he's like, "I'm ready to leave," and she's like, "But I'm not ready for you to leave."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Okay, I'll stay."
He's like, "Okay, I'll stay." But then they have a conversation together where he like sincerely tells her, "I don't think I have anything, and this has nothing to do with not wanting to spend the rest of my life with you. I just feel like," and he was very like, I guess everybody else, except for Tahani, who got there and then was like, "Never mind." And Jason was certain about it, but in a less certain way. I think Jason was literally like, I really do have nothing else to do. And it's just like, God. Yeah. I feel like Chidi reached a logical point in his head where he was very certain.
The puzzle finally felt solved.
Yeah. Yeah. He was done. So he did sit down with Eleanor and had like one last sunset for her. And the way Eleanor tells him to leave is very her house too. Yeah, it is. But he leaves her a calendar of pictures of him as a sexy mailman.
I want that calendar.
Turn on, yeah. So it's very Ravenclaw. But anyway, so Eleanor, getting to Eleanor, and a huge part of who she is also tied in with her relationship with Chidi and with everybody else. But Eleanor is so obviously a Slytherin. I don't know
Cold Steve Austin.
Tell anybody. That's all Rachel wanted to talk about. She was just mad that we weren't talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, which has nothing to do with her house.
It doesn't. Here you have, my friends, another situation where there's a Slytherin who I have so much in common with, except our motivations. So I know that I can't be a Slytherin, right? So Jeff Winger and Eleanor Shellstrop, we have so much in common.
Reynolds.
What? Dennis Reynolds.
Dennis Reynolds.
Absolutely. I am murderous too. But Eleanor, man, it's like the words being taken out of my head in a writer's room and people putting them on paper. But weird shit like, oh, what are you, a Hufflepuff loser? And like, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin's belt. Like crazy shit. Okay. Nothing to do with her motivations or decision making. Nothing. I wouldn't make any of the choices she did, but I would live the way she does. And so for a while I was watching the show and I'm like, I have to talk to Lauren about this. Why do I relate so much to these Slytherins? I don't get it. And I didn't come to a consensus. I think it might be that they're just confident and they don't care what people think. And we don't have that in common. So that's the break. I have the anxiety they don't have. But
I was going to say, do you also think it's that you perceive them as being able to say these things and nobody thinks they're ridiculous, but you think you're saying these things and everybody thinks you're ridiculous?
Sure, I know that's true.
Okay.
They are thinking I'm ridiculous. Oh, and I would have the same funeral as her. Just the way she objectifies Tahani, the way she's making fun of everyone always. I just vibe with her very hard. But she, big Slytherin. big fucking Slytherin. Like,
there's so much to say about.
There's too much.
Well, she's the main character. Yeah, she's too much. She, like, Eleanor clearly manipulates situations. Like, even when she's down on Earth, like, they have a co-workers group that goes out to drink, and everybody's supposed to be a designated driver, and she literally does she is never the designated driver. Like, they're picking names out of the hat, and she writes everybody's name but herself, and then, like, eats the paper when they demand to see it. She shows up at the bar already drunk so that she can't be the designated driver. Like, she will totally. She moves from job to job. She gets to her job where she's selling old people pills that don't work or whatever.
Yep.
And her boss is trying to be like very like vague about what it actually is because it's illegal. And she's like, dude, so you want me to trick old people into buying pills and ruining their life? Like, I got it. I can do it. She's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah. She's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Or that same office, they everybody on her birthday brings her a cake and they're singing happy birthday. Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't want that cake. Take it back. And they're like, why? She's like, if I take this cake and eat it, next time somebody in this stupid office has a birthday, I'm going to have to pitch in on the cake. And I don't want to buy anybody else's office the cake. Nobody's my friend. I don't want to deal with them. So don't give me that cake because I don't want to owe you anything. Like, that's how she sees it. She thinks people are out to get favors from her or out to owe her things because that's how she operates. She's like, I do something for you, you do something for me. So when other people do something for her, it can't just be nice. It's you expect me to do something for you in the future, and I don't want to. Or like in the same episode, I think it is her friends want to go to a movie, and they're like, okay, so can you buy all the tickets? And she's like, no way, you're not all going to pay me back. Like, I'm not having that on my card. And they're like, okay, so I'll put it on my card. Just give me the money. And she's like, no way, I'm going to give you all the points on your card. I'm just going to buy my own ticket. Like, she's she's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Well, you have to figure she was legally emancipated when she was 14 years old. She had her own job in her own apartment. She found out her mom was fucking useless. And she literally at 14 is out there just living life. And she's not afraid of stirring the pot. She's not afraid of doing questionable things. Not afraid of working at a shady pharmaceutical company or telling people, I don't want this job because I don't want to be your friend. Fuck you. Does not care. She gets to heaven and is rude to everyone. All of them. What is she? She says Tahani has a giraffe neck. Yeah. Yeah, she does that. And then she calls
a nerd.
She says Chidi Ariana Grande.
No, but it's like a really interesting. It's an interesting because the backbone of this show is the what we owe each other philosophy.
Right.
And Eleanor is literally like, I don't want to owe anybody anything.
Right.
I don't want anybody to owe me anything. I don't want to owe you anything. I am in this for myself, which is like another huge philosophical question on the show because literally what Chidi's doing is how much do I owe you as another person who lives on this planet? You know,
right? But the problem,
how much do we have to do for each other?
The original problem, though, is that she can't find anything positive in anything Chidi is saying or anything positive in anything because everyone wants something. No one's doing anything genuinely nice out of the kindness of their heart to Eleanor or to anybody. She doesn't believe in anyone but herself, and she has a very low opinion of herself too. She doesn't think she deserves to be in the good place. She doesn't understand why she's in heaven. She immediately figures it out.
The medium place.
Yeah, she figures it out. Like. Eleanor's the one that's constantly...
but that's her punishment. And this is very Slytherin, too. That her punishment is that she immediately knows that she doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And they're forcing
and be tortured by it.
Yeah. And they're forcing her... Like, it's on different levels. They're forcing her to manipulate her way through it, to actually feel guilt over the fact that she's affecting everybody else with her selfishness. And also, she has to sit through these moral philosophy lessons.
Right. But, you know... Oh, and this is I didn't like her the first go around because I really got muddled down in the bad parts of Earth, Eleanor. I didn't like what I saw, obviously.
You didn't like Dressfish?
No. I didn't like any.
You didn't like Dressfish?
No. I didn't like the fucking shrimp she was buying that was questionable. I didn't like anything that she was doing. She just looked unwashed and I didn't like it. And I was like,
she's Arizona trash bag.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, gross, Eleanor, grow up. And then she gets to heaven and I'm like, oh, you're actually really cool. Like, I loved it. I loved her in heaven. And I loved that, like, her growth is unmatched.
No, her growth is amazing. I wanted to say, too, like, her growth is unmatched. And she definitely sees what she was doing wrong and, like, grows and doesn't do it again. But she also...
But she maintains herself, too.
No, but I was going to say, she's not unapologetic. But when she goes to Michael and tells him, I don't belong here, and then he's, like, testing her or whatever, and she has to tell the whole dress bitch story back or whatever, she still thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she never loses herself. She's still like, that was pretty funny. Like,
well, even consider like Chidi reading through her life file. And she's like, if you see it, you're not going to love me anymore. And then he does. And she's immediately like, yeah, you like that? Like, she is a little bit unapologetic about it. She realizes it was wrong. She's atoned for it. She's repented.
But she's also like, this is me. So like,
right.
You know.
She's taken the parts that are forgivable, right? And she's left behind the things that are truly selfish. Because her whole test in season 2 is about selfishness. And she is the only one that passes.
Yes.
And then she lies for her friends.
Yeah. No, Yeah. She's the only one that passes the judge's test.
Because she's the only one who actually learns a lesson.
That's also very, well, and it's also very Slytherin that now she's connected to these people.
Right.
And Chidi is absolutely her person. Like, it's unquestionable. But no, but something else that happened on Earth, it was this whole episode was about, this is Eleanor's way of thinking. And I was like, this is so Slytherin. It's, she has a boyfriend at the time, and the boyfriend's like, we got to stop buying coffee from this one place because the guy who owns the coffee shop is a pervert and he degrades women or whatever. And so she's like, I'm not going to stop buying like coffee that's convenient for me because the guy who owns it is a dick. Like that's not my responsibility. And her boyfriend's like, I just think we should like be more, we should think more like morally and like be more aware of like where we put our money or whatever. And she comes in the next day and is like, oh, I bought Arizona Coyotes tickets because it's just all this stuff of organizations that had done a bad thing. Like somebody on the Coyotes had sexually assaulted someone. No. She was coming in to make a point. She like listed all this stuff. She was like, you want to go to the Coyotes game? You want to do this? Let's eat at Chick-fil-A. She was like, dude, everybody in the world does bad shit. It's not my responsibility not to figure that out and to punish them for it. Like, I just got to live my life. And I was like, this is so Slytherin.
I didn't disagree. I was like, yeah, you know what? Slytherin. You're making fair fucking points.
Yeah, but like, I think also the point the show was trying to make is that you can have a little more awareness and make choices. And she's just like, I do not feel it is my responsibility.
The thing I didn't like, and the thing like I can't relate to is like, I agree with her to a point that certain things are not your responsibility. Certain things you cannot change and you cannot kill yourself over. But when opportunities arise to make the correct moral decision, and they're easy and they don't take anything from you, then make the right call. And she's just like laughs and thinks everything's funny. And she's like, oh, that joke he made about that woman was actually kind of funny.
She makes the choice that's best for her, whether or not it's
all the
morally correct one.
And then it's so funny because she meets that douchebag in season 4 and she's like, well, clearly he was sent here to like fuck with me. But he's exactly the kind of guy she would have laughed at before. And like, if he made a fart joke around her, she would have been like, haha, sweet. Fucking hate you though. Like because she hated everyone and everything, including herself, while maintaining that she was smarter than everybody else. So yeah, hella Slytherin.
She's always in a leadership position. Like she's always Michael's like, she's the one who's helping, or she was with Michael, and then when Michael switched roles and became a good guy, she was the one who was helping Michael and like learning about humanity and all that stuff. She's always in a leadership position. When at the end in season 4, when they have to run their own heaven, she is the fake architect. Like she's the one essentially running the neighborhood and like organizing everything. Because Michael tricks her, like pretends that he has anxiety because he wants Eleanor to do it. Like he thinks it would be good for her, and it was.
That whole thing, being an architect and playing in that role. When the other day, Lauren and I and Haley and Illy were talking about like secondary houses and whatever. We were taking all these house quizzes, and like.
You've mentioned it on the air.
Yeah, whatever.
Now you have to explain what it is. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't care. So you've got like a you could have a secondary house. Like you could have, it's like the layer underneath. It's just something that the test says. I don't really go by it truly, but I got this Slytherin secondary thing.
Everybody.
And I liked the explanation of how Slytherins are able to kind of chameleon their way through things. So Eleanor does this. She's very much. It's not mirroring.
Yes, I've talked about this. They're fluid.
Yeah, it's not.
They respond to the situation in the way they need to respond. But it's different
than mirroring. Other houses
I didn't say it was mirroring.
I'm not saying shit. I'm talking about my own fucking point.
They respond to the situation and the way that they need to respond in order to get what they want out of it.
Sure.
Like they look at everything that's thrown at them. They respond in the exact way they need to.
I hit my microphone. Yeah, was what I was getting at. In a different way, though. Because I was trying to say that mirroring is a completely different position, where it's like you're looking at someone and you're able to manipulate them in that way. I think Gryffindors are really good at that. A lot of Gryffindors that we see in media are able to like slide into the sleazy bar and cozy up to the nasty person they need the money from and whatever and be like, oh, yeah, I'm a dick too. And it's mirroring. Whereas a Slytherin can literally slip into another suit of a human being and not be exactly like you, but be what they need to get the outcome that they need. And Eleanor does it throughout the entire series. So whether she thinks she's lying to Michael and getting away with it in the beginning, which she's not, they all know they're torturing her, or in the end when she's the fake architect, it's great because the only time she's not doing it in the show, you see it with her circle of people. She's really, truly herself with them. And I really enjoy that. Like she's not worried about being judged by them at all. She just objectifies Tahani all the time. And she's like, yeah, babe, that's fine. You get it. You get me. And Tahani's like into it. So I like it. I like that she doesn't do the fluid chameleon thing with them ever. You don't ever see that. Really enjoy that about her character. She can just be herself. It's fine. So that's nice.
Kind of relates to the thing that I went and looked up, which was at one point Eleanor tells Chidi what her personal like favorite philosophy is, and it's something called moral particularism. And her exact quote about it is, she says, moral particularism says there are no fixed rules that work in every situation. Like, let's say you promised your friend you'd go to the movies, but then your mom suddenly gets rushed to the ER. Your boy Kant would never break a promise. Go see Chronicles of Riddick. Doesn't matter if your mom gets lonely and steals a bucket of Vicodin from the nurse's closet. You have to choose your actions based on the particular situation, and right now we are in a pretty bonkers situation. So her personal favorite philosophy is that you literally react in the way that the situation calls for.
Yeah. But she does that in moments of crisis, which is fine and fair. And I think you need to be able to be fluid and to be able to do that when you're in a situation that's literally like the entire world, the entire afterlife is on her shoulders. And it's on everybody's shoulders, but it's on her and Michael. More than anybody else, probably. And then once Chidi wakes up, it's on Chidi. But she's just so able to effortlessly step in and out of it. Like she's running around. She's got the 4 humans. She's acting like this. It's so perfect. Like she learned it from Michael and picked it up and was just immediately able to just put her Eleanor spin on it, do exactly what he did to everyone else. And she knows what works because she was manipulated in season 1. She fully believed she was in the good place for a long time. So she takes that and she flips it. They even do the whole sinkhole thing to the humans, like they did to her and to Chidi and those humans. So it's like she comes completely full circle because when she steps out of that, she's just Eleanor with all of them. And they've all come to a place where they just really love and respect her for who she is. So she doesn't have to hide, she doesn't have to lie. And I think she does, in the end, realize, people aren't in it for an agenda all the time. I'm not in it for an agenda all the time. I think she needed to learn that about herself. Because I think it's easy for a Slytherin to be like, yeah, I'm selfish, and everything I do is selfish, and I'm doing it for me. And sometimes it's a point of pride for a Slytherin, and other times they kind of hate themselves for it. And I think Eleanor was one who kind of hated herself for it, but also was like, well, whatever, that's life. But the way that she evolves and the way that she changes over time, she very clearly, she just comes full circle with it. She comes out of that. And she's like, no, that's not all I am. I'm not all the bad parts. I'm not the sum of all the bad parts. There's good to me too. And I love that for her. Because I went on that journey with her too. At first I was like, you are a bad person with an agenda all the time. Then I was like, no, you're better than that, Eleanor. And we learned about her together. And that was nice.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah. No, I got stuck on something you said and I didn't like it. And then I only thought about that. But,
what?
I don't remember. You said something in a way that I wouldn't have said it. But there.
You're not allowed to yell at me about it later when you re-listen to this. I'm telling you right now, I don't care. So don't.
You don't care so much that you're yelling at me about it now.
Yeah, I'm getting it out now, and I'm telling you, don't bring it back to me.
Okay.
I'll ignore it. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. The moral particularism thing wasn't just in moments of stress. It was what she was saying, how she looked at morality, which is very Slytherin. But no, you can see when Michael unkills them, unalives them, and she's the only one who is getting better on her own after her near-death experience. She's the only one who's putting in work to be a good person because she had a near-death experience. But she reaches that breaking point in about 6 months where she is like, I am trying so hard to be a good person and nothing good is happening for me. So like, why? Why am I doing this? Like, which was also a big like moral question of the show. Like, are you doing things to be good, or are you doing things because you think there's a moral dessert at the end, or because, like how this show is so hard because it makes you think about things you don't want to think about, because I think this is stuff that Slytherins think about a lot, because then they just decide not to deal with it. Because it's like, how can you truly be a good person if you're always aware in the back of your brain that you might get something out of it? So I feel like Slytherins are just like, I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that I'll probably get something out of this and do what I want to do. But Eleanor definitely uses like Chidi as her moral compass as well. She's like, I need you, since I'm in the good place, and like that's the thing too, where she's like, I actually want to be a good person in order to earn my spot here, but there's no way of getting around the fact that she doesn't want to go to the bad place. So again, she's like doing this for a reward at the end. I think it's impossible to do. Like Phoebe has this in Friends, where Ross, who is a Slytherin, tells her that there is no way to actually do a good deed because all good deeds are rewarded, or you'll always get something out of a good deed. So it can never truly be good. And I think Slytherins understand that. And that was a big question on this show, where they're just like, I'm just not going to try, because nobody will ever see something as truly a good deed, or nothing ever truly can be a good deed, because something always comes out of it for you. So why shouldn't I get everything I can out of stuff for me?
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I sat there watching her face, waiting for her to say that.
I'm so sure that you did. I don't get how you get there as a Slytherin. I don't get why it matters. And I don't get why you go so left field with it. That's like, if there's no such thing as a good deed, as a selfless deed, then why not be evil? Like, okay, why can't it just be like good? It works for everybody.
Not everybody's evil. Everything that, like, the choice that's best for you isn't always an evil choice.
No, but you're inherently going into it like, this is going to be explicitly a selfish decision. Then now I'm going into it fully selfish. Like, why can't it just be, it works for both of us? Great. I am a good person.
If it works for both of us, I think Slytherins choose that choice too. But they're trying to help their people. They're just not picking the choice that doesn't benefit them in any way, which I think really good people would do.
I mean, I guess it's contextual. So we'd have to have a situation there that we would assess. I don't know.
You don't know what you mean either.
No, I mean, because it's contextual. I said that. That's it. You need to give me a scenario.
And I said I don't know what you mean.
How do you not know what I mean? I'm saying you need a scenario. You need a situation where you're putting two people into it, and then you're able to assess what they do in that scenario. It's contextual. That's what I mean.
But I'm saying it's not contextual, because that's what a Slytherin would do every time.
It is, though, because just because you choose something that's not good for you doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a fucking idiot sometimes. You said that's something that most people who are good people would do, right? But sometimes it just makes you dumb.
Yeah, because they would consider it to be generous, or to be sacrificing themselves. Or
it doesn't make them a good person.
That they want. Those things usually people consider make themselves a good person.
I think it's selfish to think that way.
Selfish to believe that you've been generous because you sacrificed your own needs for someone else?
Yeah. That doesn't make you a good person.
I think it's a good deed.
Sure.
Most people would think it's a good deed.
It can be a good deed. But I don't think it makes you morally
So fine,
good.
you're contextually saying somebody doing this once. Okay, that's dumb, but sure. Most people would believe that it makes them a good person because if they've done something good. And usually it wouldn't be a one-off.
How does falling on the grenade for Steve Rogers benefit him? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't.
Because he knew they were looking for somebody to do the super secret special project.
I guess
he wanted to stand out.
If you look at it that way, fine, sure. If you look at it that way.
That's the way that we literally talked about it happening in the episode. So it's the way we both look at it.
But I don't understand why the implication is that you're less of a good person if you think that way. I don't think that you are. I think you're smarter if you think that way. I mean, I think Eleanor's pretty fucking obvious. I think the whole ending, the entire ending is just a Slytherin. It's a Slytherin not liking that her people are leaving. So first you've got Jason going, which probably hits the least hard, right? She loves him. I guess he's part of her circle. I guess you could say the crew is her circle. Chidi being the most important one, obviously. But he goes, and she's immediately like, oh, damn it. He goes, it's all right. She moves on, but she still has Chidi. That's fine. Tahani wants to go. That one hurts a little bit more. But, she wins because Tahani does stay, and she's able to talk to her later and get Mindy settled. And the whole Mindy thing is enormously Slytherin. But when Chidi wants to go, it's very textbook Slytherin of her to go like, no, I can give him plenty of reasons to stay because I can't understand what am I supposed to do if he goes? Like, where am I supposed to go if the person in my circle, the core person in my circle is gone? So I have to do some low-key manipulation to get him to stay. But she's grown so much, and she is what I would call a healthy Slytherin, that she does let him go. She knows it's the right thing to do. And she doesn't have, temper tantrums over it or do any more. It's not like she's out here doing the most with it and being, crying and begging. It's nothing like that. It's very much like, look what we could have, look what we could continue to have. And when she really, really realizes it would be selfish and she's grown past that point, she lets him go. Which, crazy growth. The old Eleanor obviously would not have done that. But the Mindy thing, how she goes back, Eleanor is not ready to leave. She's just not ready to go. She's the last one to go. Which I also think is kind of Slytherin to hold on that long to the end and be like, you're not taking me alive. I'm going to live forever, bitch. Like she says at the beginning of the show anyway. But with Mindy, she's like, I see myself in you. And I can't move on until I resolve this last part of the reflection I'm seeing within you. I got to get you settled. I got to get all parts of Eleanor right before I can walk through the heavenly door and ascend. So even down to that, down to her last moments on the show, she's making hugely Slytherin decisions with all the people that she loves in her life and Mindy, which I don't think she has much love for Mindy. But the connection that she sees in herself with her, it was actually holding her back from having her spirit be at rest. She's like, I can't leave this person who I related to so deeply, who I see parts of myself, and I can't leave her in limbo. And when she got that fixed and left her in the very capable hands of Tahani, then she was able to move on. She got that feeling they were all talking about, which is fucking terrifying. And I don't want to feel it.
She wasn't right away, right? Because she went and she still wasn't able to. And then she figured out it was Michael. That was the last thing she needed to do.
Michael? What was the name of Michael?
Michael became a human.
Was that Eleanor's doing?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she went to the
judge, right?
Yeah, they went to the judge and told him that Michael, that was the last thing that she did.
Yeah.
That she felt like she needed to do.
Michael's like her daddy. You got to take care of daddy too.
Yes. But I don't know. I was thinking about too with the whole thing with Chidi. Eleanor is always the one that learns that she and Chidi were in love. Like she sees the videotape at Mindy's house and then she keeps it from him. Like she's like, no, that's stupid. I don't feel that way. Like that was just crazy and I don't feel that way. And then she has to try to pretend not to be hurt when she finally does admit it to Chidi and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. That wasn't me. I don't.
Yeah.
And that was another moral philosophy thing, that the person that you are is dependent on your memories. So your memories are your being and your soul. And he's like, that Chidi is not me. So I don't love you. And I think it's very Slytherin to not agree with that. If I saw memories of another me, I would be like, yes, that is me.
Really?
And yeah, I would, because also she does it again when they're down on Earth and Michael tells her that he's rebooted them 800,000 times. She's like, show me the memories. And he's like, first of all, no, because they're going to hurt you in a physical way, but also no, because it's going to mess with you to have like two separate sets of memories living alongside each other. And she's really adamant. She's like, no, those are my memories and I want them. And I want to understand. I want to understand like why I felt this way. And she's totally willing to like take the hurt that comes with it, that she understands that Chidi is not going to have the same memories. Like he's not going to know where she's coming from or why she feels this way.
Yeah, but she wants
yeah, she's like, they're mine. Those are my memories. That's the person that I want them. So yeah, I thought that was very Slytherin.
I can't remember now. Does Chidi do that too? When he reboots the last time and he gets all the memories
he
back.
Gets everything back.
Everything back.
Yeah.
So he wants them back too. I mean, well, I don't know. He doesn't ask.
I mean,
them.
he didn't choose. Yeah, the judge didn't
ask.
That.
But I think Slytherins and Ravenclaws do have that in common, where you want all the pieces.
Well, I think Chidi more so that because he does believe in that thing where you are the memories that you are. So I think he would, just because he's like, I want all of me.
I need all the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's cute. I could have told him from the beginning there's no answers. Well, they're an interesting couple because we haven't seen many, if any, I don't think. Well, yeah, we've seen the one I always talk about. But it's rare Ravenclaw and Slytherin couples. So it was so interesting to see a dynamic where neither of them were really very, like, extremely needy and over-emotional with each other. Like, I don't think Eleanor was needy or over-emotional ever. I don't. Down to when he says...
She was once in the post office. When she starts crying. And she's like, I just want to go to heaven and be with you.
Right, but that's also... She's talking about herself, though, too. Like, she wanted... That was about her...
Well, I mean, he fixes it by, like, going on a date with her. But she...
Right, she got something else she wanted. But, I mean, like... over him specifically, she's not like up his ass and crying over him to him. Like she's constantly ribbing him and joking with him, whatever. And the moments that are emotional are very clear and very sincere. And there's no mind games between them. There's no, there's just not.
No, because they're both very themselves.
Very. There's a huge confidence in the way that they love each other and the confidence in their feelings for each other, which is a very interesting dynamic. There's no one, even at the end, when Chidi's like, I don't know if we're going to work, we're too different. Like, it takes him maybe 10 minutes of conversation with Jason, of all people, to understand that's silly, to not think that way. It's so interesting the way both of their brains work, where it's like, anytime a problem comes up, they probably either resolve it themselves before they bring it to the table, or they have a regular discussion about it. There's no knockdown, blowout, nothing. They're just... They are who they are, and they're able to love each other completely for it.
I think sometimes Eleanor yells at Chidi, and then he's just like, yeah, but logically, this is why that's not a problem. And then they're like, oh, okay. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're a stupid robot.
Sure. she can be a very passionate gal when she gets angry. But I don't think she always, like, would even necessarily need Chidi to tell her that. I think she'd get there on her own, too. Even after her little outburst. But... on the whole, she's very sure of herself, of her feelings for him, and of his feelings for her too after a certain point, once they get past a certain hump. It's just tough because he has to get frozen, he has to get rebooted. Like, she just goes through a lot, and she deals with it a lot fucking better than I would. Because I'd be a snotting, crying mess. Hugely. And she is just like, no, this is great. I'm going to set him up with his ex to make him think they're soulmates. Sure. And she does it.
I mean, that's the thing about Eleanor through the entire show, too, right? That she is, like, she admits that she was not a good person, but she is so sure that she should not be in the bad place. Like, you know? Like,
there are really horrible, evil people. She's not one of them.
Yeah, but she also, like, she never has that, like, self-doubt or that self-hatred or that, I don't know if you would call it, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who have lived the life Eleanor had would have been like, okay, hell might be the response, like the natural response.
Do any of them think that way? Do any of them think like, oh, I actually do
Chidi.
deserve to be here? It's just Chidi, right?
Chidi does. And I think Tahani at one point is kind of like, oh, I was truly awful and I can see why. I don't think Jason ever has enough introspection to really, I don't think Jason ever really understands.
It's not so much that Jason thinks he deserves anything one way or another. Jason's just about wants. So he's I don't want to be here.
And that's the thing too. And Jason lives in the moment. So like when they were in hell, he was being a fucking dude bro and dick punching men. So he was like, I like it here. But if they were, putting bees up his penis, like they talked about so many times, I'm sure Jason wouldn't like it.
Yeah, probably not.
He only, that's the beautiful thing about Jason. He only has the ability to live in a singular moment, which makes him very not Slytherin. Like he cannot look ahead and he cannot see what might be coming in response to his actions. Like he fucking dies because he wore a scuba mask and it's safe. And
Snorkel can't get air in there.
He did not get air, so
he didn't deserve it, man.
He does, yeah. But I think
even Tahani and Eleanor have it in common where they understand the decision that led them there, but would both go to fucking court with the judge of the universe and be like, I get it, but do I deserve to be here really? Put me up next to Jeffrey Dahmer. Would I still deserve it?
Well, I was going to say, I think Tahani would come at it more from her connections angle. Like she would come at it like, look what I did for other people, even though it wasn't wasn't morally the greatest, or, like. That's
just because she's got that to play. Eleanor doesn't.
Yeah, well, no, but I think even if she didn't, or even if Eleanor did have that to play, Eleanor, it's just that Slytherin thing where you believe so hard in yourself and like in your own, in how you understand yourself. And Eleanor, honest to God, she says it so many times. She, honest to God, is like, I am a medium person. So I do not belong in the bad place.
Right. Yeah. But I just think I think the two of them have so much in common, more than her and Chidi have in common, really, when it comes down to it. They're both very, very self-centered, but they both grow so much from that. The two of them, it's hard even for like now, I said it with Tahani too, but it was hard for me with Eleanor too, to talk about the beginning of Eleanor, knowing where she ends up. It's like, you're talking about almost two different characters. She becomes so different. Whereas like Chidi and Jason basically stay the same. I mean, Chidi comes into a confident point where he understands things more. I was going to say,
Chidi has a really beautiful arc, but it's so simple that it doesn't feel like...
Exactly. It's a simplistic thing, and it's natural. He comes out of it, and he's so confident. He just kisses her. I love you. Like, he's there. He's got it. And it's the same with Jason at the end. There's just a moment, and it's simple, and it's contentment. And they're there. Like, Tahani and Eleanor, they got to go through a lot. They have to go through a lot mentally to get to where they did. But they have the most growth on the show.
Yes.
It's impressive from both the characters. And they probably should have ended up together. Never mind. I don't ship Chidi and Eleanor anymore. It should have been Eleanor and Tahani.
No, I can't see that.
Really, at one point, I think I was in like season 2, I was like, why didn't they go this way? Like, why didn't they just...
They did, apparently, in one of the reboots. Like, they didn't show it. But when they had that montage of her soulmates coming to the door, one time it was Tahani. So,
Perhaps I just would have liked to have seen it. Maybe they didn't have to end up together.
Michael's seen it.
But, well, goddamn it, Michael. All right. Should we do Michael and Janet?
I think so. All right. We're not going to ever revisit The Good Place again.
Oh, man. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I haven't thought about either of their house. I was like, they were just there for comedy for me.
I have thought about Michael. Did not think about Janet.
So Michael goes from bad demon, good-ish person. I can't call him a person. He's still a demon.
He's a demon, yeah.
Bad demon, good demon, emotional demon, needy demon.
Technically God.
To God, to human.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, Hufflepuff.
That's not what I think. I don't.
He needs to.
Guess you can make the argument.
He needs to be working. He needs to be useful. He can't stand when someone's doing his job better than him. Cannot stand it.
I think the thing that stood out to me the most about Michael is that the reason that he switches and what he has a problem with is he was like, they told me as a demon that I was helping the system and that I was actually, doing the right thing, and that torturing humans was actually beneficial to the system, and that this was this was what we were supposed to do. And he gets so mad that he had been taken advantage of and that the system wasn't working at all. And like, that's his big reason for like going through all the trouble of changing it and trying to make it, I don't know, it just came off very righteous to me.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be.
In trying to make it better.
He cares so much about making it better. And there's also a selfishness there with like not wanting to give Vicky her moment. Vicky got one over on him in the beginning. And there's spite there. Like, he doesn't want to hand over his great new plan. But then when he does it with such glee. Like, when he gets over himself, he becomes such a genuine and sincere, like, sweet old man. Like, he just fits into what his character looks like. And, like, he gave it to her. He's like, no, your coup has won. Goodbye. You're running this now. Like, he's just, and he means it. Like, he's so sweet about it. He's got a good, weird slug snake soul. What is he? He's a snake or something?
No, he's a
octopus?
fire crab. Fire squid? Yeah. No, fire squid. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't know. The distinct impression I got from him was that he definitely felt that the 4 humans were his responsibility. He played this up for like oh no, everything's breaking. But I think it's like, I think the best fibs are ones that you actually feel. Like, he was very, and he did do this when he wasn't fooling them anymore. When he took control of heaven, or they put him in charge of the tests or whatever, all the tests, when he had them on earth, when he had them in heaven and going through the test or whatever.
Yeah.
When something was going wrong, he felt extremely responsible for it. He was like, this is due to me and only I can go fix it. I need to personally go down to heaven and pretend to be an Aussie librarian and talk to Chidi in a horrible accent. Like, I don't know. I just got the sense that he felt extremely responsible for it. And the reason that he felt responsible for it is that he somehow didn't catch that the system wasn't working, and that he thought he was doing the right thing within the system that had been built, and that turned out to be totally wrong. And he's like, well, then what have I been doing my whole life? Like, I haven't been doing the right thing, or the thing that I should be doing. And I think it was like him becoming human that kind of clinched the idea for me, because he could have stayed as like the Good Place committee gave the Good Place over to him and were like, you're the person running the whole Good Place now. And that wasn't fulfillment to him. And it was kind of also like in a Harry Potter sense too, where they were like, you're the leader, you're the best person to be the leader. And he's like, I don't really want to be the leader. But, like, he's like, I'm fine with you guys doing it. And he didn't really want to, but then he stepped up and did it. But then also he was like, truly what I want is to be human. And I thought that came from his connection with Eleanor, especially. And I will say, actually, I think Michael was Eleanor's person too. But like his connection with Eleanor, especially, but also in his whole evolution of helping the humans and seeing what it took to be a good person, because he also took those moral. Whoops, I hit my mic too. He also took those moral philosophy classes, because that was one of the stipulations. If he wanted to be on their team, then he actually had to learn what it was to be a good person. And I think that he, like, at the end, he wanted to be human and to actually experience all that without like cheating. Like, he wanted to, because also, like, I thought it was so interesting that he didn't go down on Earth as like a 20-year-old or something. No, he went down there as like a 65-year-old man. He's got like, 20 years if he's lucky. Yeah. And he did it because he wanted to go through life, and then he also wanted to go through the tests and to go through living in heaven, which is so weird because he was already there. Like, he was at the end point. He didn't have to do anything else, but he wanted to do it the right way.
I don't know. That's so weird to me.
I thought he was a Gryffindor.
Why would you go from God to human? I don't know.
He wanted to do it the right way.
That's weird. Weird guy, Michael. Yeah, and he's got to be one of the feelings houses. I only got Hufflepuff from the insane work ethic, insane pride in the work, and then how I felt like you viewed them as responsibilities of his. Yeah. I viewed them as like he really wanted to belong to the crew, like he wanted to be one of them. And then when he is one of them, they all annoy him.
I mean, I guess I didn't like that whole montage where he's going through reboot after reboot after reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it was work ethic, but I also guess I didn't read it as like strictly work ethic.
No, it can't. I mean, it's never.
No, I know, but I read it more as his motivation behind it is that he was trying to prove that his idea was right. Not
you could look at it that way.
Not necessarily that he actually wanted it to be something that worked, but it had gotten to the point where he was like, everybody's gonna like make fun of me, and
how about the way he's just willing
and
to
I want to call him Kevin again.
Fucking shoot himself into slime to prove to Eleanor, no, it really is me. I'm not Vicky. I'm just gonna shoot myself. Yeah, I'm not mad at Gryffindor, Michael. I could take it. That's fine.
Okay, she's fine with it.
I'm good with it. I have no arguments against it.
She'll take him.
I'll take him. He can be a dramatic bitch. We can have him. Again, I didn't give him any thought, and I didn't give Janet any thought, so I'm totally lost on Janet.
I haven't thought about Janet, and she's like, Janet, she's not human.
No, she's not. So it's really hard. She's not like, she wants to do the right thing too. You know, like, but based on a moral code that they've developed or that they've.
But it's not. Oh my God. It's not a moral. It's the way that she's been programmed, right? Because she has to be rebooted. She has to be rebooted so many times in order to be able to lie.
Yeah, and their influence on her is crazy. So she's easily influenced, but it's not like she's dumb. Like, she's not peer pressured into any of it. She genuinely does fall in love with Jason. She genuinely does see their point. She can see from an objective standpoint, like, you guys are right. You are correct. This is the way to do it. The other Janets, different personalities, but they all eventually come to the same consensus. Like, yeah, you're wrong about humans, and we're all gonna, you can go inside and try to get the little ball. What the fuck was she looking for, the judge? She's like,
she was looking for the end of the world button.
End of the world button into their voids, right?
Thingy. Yeah.
Is that what she was saying?
And so she was marbleizing them. Yeah,
marbleizing them. That's it. They're like, we'll get marbleized for it. It's fine. They're just gonna do. They weren't even scared. Like, Janet just wasn't even scared to stand up for her.
Sorry, I was just thinking about the whole episode where Michael is telling the story to bad Janet. Like, that just came off very Gryffindor to me too. Sorry. Because he was appealing to her sense of righteousness. Yeah. He was like, humans are right.
Yeah. All true.
I don't know. The closest that I can put Janet in, and I hate it. I think it is like hard because she's a robot. Like, I would put her in Hufflepuff, but that feels like a cop-out because she's programmed to serve people. Like, you know, like she has to bring them.
I know. I don't know that she. I don't know if she has an inherent desire to belong, though. I think she just is. Like, she's content in being because she's programmed that way. She's content in being and in serving, which is kind of Hufflepuff. Like, I don't know. You kind of have to. I don't know. You kind of have to give it to her.
But I mean, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, like, yeah, she's content in being, but that would be the healthiest Hufflepuff ever.
She's a very
is serving a community.
Mm-hmm. It's just
and she belongs to that community. I know it's a cop out.
It's a cop out. It also feels a little insulting to Hufflepuffs to be like, this machine that's built to serve, totally your guys' machine. But
I love her. She's amazing, and also like after she's been rebooted a ton of times, she has much more choice than just what her programming requires. And I think I still see Hufflepuff in her when she has much more like control over her choices or whatever. Like, she's choosing to lie for the humans. She's choosing, like, even when Tahani and Jason are dating and like the neighborhood starts glitching and it's because she loves Jason and like she doesn't realize it because she's been rebooted.
Yeah.
She is, I don't know. It still feels like community based and it's definitely feelings based. And she is making that choice. Like, the neighborhood stops glitching because she tells Jason that she still loves him.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I'm sorry. It's an obvious one. I didn't want to give Michael the obvious one. I was trying.
You thought the obvious one was Gryffindor?
Yeah. Literally the entire time I was watching it, and I was like, and Lauren's not going to agree with me, so I'm not going to say it.
You said you hadn't thought about him.
I know. I lied. I really don't like when we don't agree. I didn't
think he was obvious.
So I don't like to. Yeah, but it was obvious in moments where it's like he's so ridiculous. His responses to things are so fucking ridiculous. And so it doesn't, the moment doesn't call for some of his reactions. And Eleanor looks at him like, are you good, bro? Like, what is wrong with you? And
the episode right after he says he's going to be a good guy, and then he's doing the Charlie problem with Chidi, and they're like, he's like, you're fucking with us again.
And then I thought in the way when he's on the fucking thing with Jason, and the way he talks to Jason, but also loves him, but the way he talks to him, like, you dumb idiot, you have no impulse control. Get it together. Like, Michael, you're also plowing into hell with no fucking plan. And you, both of you, never have a fucking plan.
Because he loves Janet.
Because you love, exactly. And it's like, and he's got such an attachment in a way that Gryffindors do to the past, to nostalgia, to memories. Like, he sees himself and he's like, I don't even know who that is anymore. But it's like a great picture. Like, he's ridiculous. And I just felt like you were going to have some extreme counter argument after assessing the show that was like, well, obviously he's a Slytherin. And I was going to be like,
to it immediately. Right. Like, it took me a while to be like, yeah, Gryffindor. Like, I was really thinking about it.
He jumped at me as one. And the fucking moment with Bad Janet is a big one. It's a big one because he's talking to her like how Dumbledore talks to a kid. It's like low-key condescending.
Yes.
But it works sometimes. So sometimes you throw it out there and you're like, maybe they will have a little bit of a soul and be just as good as I am and come to the right decision. And I'm like, Michael, just fucking stop. I just figured I was missing something because I was like,
no, I think that's right.
Well, you said it first, so you can have.
Okay. And then you sounded like you were very reluctantly giving it to me.
Because I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's something that I missed. There's something I didn't see. I know it. She's going to say it. She's going to 1-2 me at the end and go, but actually.
I just want to clarify, too, that I feel bad now that Rachel is like, sounds like we painted Hufflepuffs badly. I don't.
Did I paint them badly?
No, you said that it sounded like, because we were like, oh, they're a program to serve people.
Guys,
like,
we make fun of everybody. So
no, I know, and I'm not even making fun of it. Like, I didn't consider it a bad thing, and I don't think also that all robots are Hufflepuffs. It's just
many are Slytherins and Ravenclaws.
Yeah.
So she said,
there's no Gryffindor robots.
Bucky. Lauren, he's got some robot to him.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not his fault. He's literally been traumatized into it.
I mean, I guess you can say in the sense that, like, Bucky was brainwashed. And, like, I guess if you look at it that way, like, Janet is a being who was brainwashed or programmed. Bucky was programmed into doing shit.
I guess
they broke out of it.
You could say that. Gryffindors can be robotic in the way that they think about their moral code and whatever. Like, the way Edward Cullen is, where you cannot convince him he has a soul or that he's a good person. It's very, very much like, no, I am actually a demon. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. So, I mean, I guess you could say that.
And actually, I've been pushing for a Star Wars droid episode, and I think only one of them is a Hufflepuff. So
there you go. We're not literal robots, guys.
Literal ones that don't talk.
None of them are Griffin.
Don't know how we're going to do that episode because they don't talk. But
I don't know either because I've watched Star Wars multiple times and I don't remember it. And it's sad. I retain nothing.
We just watched it.
I just watched The Good Place and convinced myself that I missed an argument about Slytherin Michael that you were going to own my ass on.
You know what?
So I didn't say the correct thing.
You know what we get to do that I need to fit into the schedule? Kenobi comes out in May, so we have to watch the prequels in that show.
Well, you've already decided.
What do you mean I've already decided?
You already sorted them. It doesn't matter what I say.
The show. You've already sorted him too. Well, I want to watch the show because maybe the show will be like, whoa, he's not that.
No. He'll be more that.
Yeah, and Darth Vader's in it too, so Anakin. So we'll see if he's more that.
Oh my god.
Wait, I forget. I have to talk
Why can't I get away from the Skywalker family?
I have to
Why can't they leave me alone?
I don't remember, but I think I do remember. Real quick before we log out, I was laughing at least because in The Good Place, we just did Friends last month. In The Good Place, Michael watches all of Friends and then starts making Friends references.
Yes.
Yeah. so he's making Friends references. And I can't remember what the first couple were. They were just kind of like
you don't
referencing like it's like the episode of Friends. Yeah, no. But he does stuff like it's like that episode of Friends where like that's how he's relating. He's like it's like that. Yeah, but there's he's talking to the judge towards the end of the show, and when they're trying to convince her that not all humans in the past 500 years should have been going to hell, like that's just not plausible. And the judge is a huge TV fan because she has nothing else to do. So he's like, you really think that all the friends deserve to go to hell? And then he's like, Ross and Rachel, yeah, and Monica and Chandler definitely, and Joey, but Phoebe.
And then Lisa Kudrow shows up.
Yeah, they do a little funny gag where Lisa Kudrow is not Phoebe or Lisa Kudrow in heaven. She's she's an Egyptian philosopher or a Greek philosopher. But
yeah, can you not erase my people?
But she shows up as a philosopher who is in heaven. So it's like a little funny haha. Like, oh my God, Phoebe is in heaven.
That was so fucking funny. Also true. They would all
he was
go
right.
to hell.
And who should go to hell.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're a Friends fan, you know they're going 5 out of 6 you're burning. One saves a sandwich, not his friend. But he's going to fucking hell, man.
So give us 5 stars.
Like, if you want, no pressure.
No. We're going to cut out that whole awkward moment we have that you don't know about because it's cut out. So you
There's
should really
a couple of things to cut out in this one.
Yeah.
And we're doing it for you.
Yeah. We're cutting them out for you. Our next episode is with Carla and Meg, the boobs. We're going to do Eurovision. I haven't asked them who specifically we're doing, although if I had to guess based on many things, it's the 2 main people. I forget their names.
Will Ferrell, Alicia McGann.
It's Will Ferrell. No, but yeah, I don't remember their characters' names.
Have you seen the movie?
Yes, I have once. So I need to watch it again. And then also the Spanish guy. I'm guessing that's who the 3 are going to be. You don't remember him, the Spanish singer?
I didn't see the movie.
You didn't see it?
Mm-mm. I'm going to watch it for the episode.
Yeah, okay, I'll watch it with you.
I'm probably going to watch it the day we record.
Okay, that's fine.
That'll be the next time I have time to watch it.
We're recording on a Friday.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I will watch anything Will Ferrell happily, so that's great. Happy to. We could sort so many other things with Will Ferrell.
We could. He's done many things. He's
so great. I really love Will Ferrell.
We almost did Elf, and then people voted.
They voted wrong, man. You could have done Elf. You could have had The Grinch. You made me do Die Hard. Man.
I liked Die Hard. You liked John McClane. You can't
love
say
John McClane. But, like, you made me sit through it. Ugh.
Well, now you can say you've seen it.
I saw it when I was like 3.
Okay.
So,
that counts.
Definitely shouldn't have. Yeah. It's one of those that you have to say that you've seen. That's okay. I would like to sort Ace Ventura. I would like to sort Wayne's World. I would like to sort Empire Records.
We have a lot of stuff. Back. We need to sort Avatar Last Airbender, which I need to rewatch. And
what's your good place? Where would you be in the good place? Would you
what do you mean, where would I be? I would be speaking to Abraham Lincoln every day.
You would, but would you be in his time period?
No. Okay. I doubt that he would want to be in his time period. I would literally become his best friend. I'd be at the bar with him every day, picking his brain.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'd be in 1991.
I have thought about this.
And I would not leave the 90s.
You would be.
I would not leave it. Just in that sweet spot where the 80s hair, where you still have the big volume.
I would not stay in those time periods because they were shit for everybody but Rick Whiteman.
Okay.
But I would visit.
The fucking green doors. Mm-hmm. You can do anything you want, and you're going to tell me...
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would visit, but
you're going to tell me you run out of things to do?
Yes. After,
how many
Jeremy Bearimy?
Dinosaur.
How many Jeremy Bearimys?
What?
But it's like,
nap.
I'm sure,
like, what?
I'm sure the problem is, too, that there's no conflict, right? There's no problem solving. You just, if something is going, like you're riding dinosaurs and something goes wrong, you don't need to fix it. You just
read.
Go, oh, no, I don't like this.
Read about conflict.
And then it's fixed.
Ask the ether to make books with conflicts and movies with conflicts and get your jollies that way and go on a fucking nap. I cannot imagine walking through.
Would you not, can you imagine, would you not live all of your favorite movies?
I would live all my favorite movies. I would ride a pterodactyl. I would fucking, are you kidding? I would ice skate on lava. I would do everything. I would do so much. Like, people have no imagination, and that's their problem.
I mean, Jason rode go-karts with monkeys.
Jason was right. Jason was right about everything he ever said and did, okay? Yo, he's like, he fucks up in the safe after, like, whippets or something. Like, he's just pumping fucking whippets. And I'm punching that, and I'm like, not the first time for me either, Jason. Being locked near a safe with whippets in your...
I can't... He stands in for that DJ, right? All he has to do is wear the mask and play the track or whatever. And he
not genuine.
But he could have played his music and kept the mask on. People... Because people maybe would have maybe listened to it because they thought he had credibility. He took the mask off immediately. He was like, "This is the song I wrote," and put it on. And people, like, before it even started playing, people were booing him.
You have to be authentic, man. Look, you fuck up, and you own it, and you walk off.
That's very Gryffindor. He's like, "I'm only gonna be myself." Like,
that's right.
Like, the dance crew, when he was telling them, like, "We can't go to jail anymore."
Stop. When he's like, "That's how I got my nickname on the streets, the defendant." He's so great. He's so funny. I love how Chidi's about to go get, like, obliterated into nothing, and Jason's like, "Chidi, wait up." Like, you didn't just fucking choose to leave. Like, you're gonna just go hang out with Chidi. All right. Dude, and Janet just has to live there forever, alone.
No.
I hate that.
I know. I guess I would say that's very Hufflepuff, too. Like, she could have asked to have been marbleized, right? But she's gonna stay and...
Probably until Michael's done.
You don't think she'll stay longer? I think she'll stay and make sure that what the humans put in place stays in place.
Maybe. All right, people. We're going to log off. Everyone wish Lauren a happy birthday on Twitter.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
It's not my birthday today when this comes out.
You look like a monkey and you smell like one too.
Thank you.
How old are you now?
28.
How
sucks.
Oh my God. Just let me get there. Yeah. All right. Dude, seriously, go wish her a happy birthday, or, like, you're not allowed to listen to the podcast anymore. You're canceled. You're banned. Goodbye. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Another year, another Kristen Bell.
Oh, shit. Wait. We're going to be, so our friend Aaron at Fandom Things podcast is holding a day-long charity drive. I'm sorry, Aaron. So it's a day-long charity drive where she's going to be online for 24 hours, raising money. And we're appearing on it for half an hour at 12 noon Eastern. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
On March?
Probably going to be on March 26th, at 12 p.m. Eastern. So,
God damn it, get the secretary in here and tell her to figure out the dates, because we shouldn't be doing this kind of work, Linda.
Please show up to talk with us, because I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Unless you get us arguing, like, it's just going to be bullshit. So, I mean, we don't think it's bullshit. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Maybe we should rapid sort something.
That would be fun.
But we'll talk to her. It has to be something that we don't really care to do a whole thing on.
That's everything. That's all the time. That's all our conversations.
We could do, like, a bunch of Disney movies.
Sure.
That we're not gonna do. Yeah.
Sure, we could. It just has to be things everyone, we know and people know. Disney. Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Harry Potter characters.
This looks like Hannah's going to kill us, because it looks like this episode is 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's really not. It's like 20 minutes of me looking something up.
There's like 20 minutes of Lauren looking at something, 10 minutes of me trying to remember what argument I was making. I'm very tired. So we're going to stop here.
I also sensed that Rachel was mad at me and wanted to get back at me. And she had something and then she lost it.
I don't know. I might just look like a real cunt because I'm really tired.
No, I could tell you were upset with me. Because I had just...
No, I'm not. I wasn't upset with you in this one.
No?
I I would tell you. I wouldn't be able to hold it. I'd tell you right now.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I would tell you after. You're right. After the recording is over.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you
But
would
I
tell
have
me.
nothing.
You don't tell other people. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get back to you, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't feel the
Just let me
rage,
know.
the hot rage I usually feel. But I'll get back to you. Maybe when I'm falling asleep tonight, it'll creep up on me. I'll be like,
Okay.
fucking, God damn it, Lauren. I don't know. I'll let you know. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Happy birthday, Lauren.
Thank you.
This is a good place.
Bye. You're in the bad place. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media, and if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!